Good morning and welcome to our kitchen. I'm Gordy Galusha.
I'm Nancy Ostresh.
And today we're going to be making sauteed asparagus, a spaghetti hot dish, and a Watergate salad. And we're going to start off with Nancy. And by the way, this is our 224th program. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's been fun.
I have some information at the end that I think I'm going to throw out. So, and it's not that we're stopping. It's something that all of a sudden came into my head as an idea. But I'll wait till we're at our table and then I'll. So, I'm going to do the spaghetti hot dish, and I did make a couple of changes. First of all, we'll start to brown 1 pound of lean ground beef. I've been doing a lot of chicken lately. I probably should have done something with ham, being that we're close to Easter, but I didn't. So,
We'll pretend that's ham.
yeah, we'll pretend that. So, since it's lean ground beef, I put a little spray shortening in the fry pan. Okay. So, along with the Hamburg sauteing it, I want to add 1 medium onion diced, and if I had it, 2 celery ribs diced, which my story is I don't have the celery. One of my stores that I shop in didn't have any.
Why didn't you call me? I had some fresh.
The other, sorry, don't. The other store, when I looked at the large bunch, which I usually buy instead of the, if I can find separate stalks, because I don't use celery, and I very oftentimes don't use up the bunch, and you're wasting it. The stores I usually shop in don't cut up separate, and I couldn't buy 2 stalks. But when I saw the bunch price, I think it was $2.99, and I said, I don't think so, because I'm going to go away for a little while and it would just get wasted. Yeah. So, if you got your celery, along with the onion, 1 medium onion, 2 celery ribs with leaves, which I use most of the time too, the leaves. And this is all going to be cooked down together. I'm also going to add, so I'm changing this a little bit again, about 1/4 cup of red pepper diced. Now, the story behind that is later on in the recipe, you were supposed to add pimento. Again, I don't use pimento very often. I buy a jar like this, and it usually goes bad. So I decided, well, if we want some red color in this, let's buy a red pepper and add it to, because I want it to cook down. Pimento's already cooked. Red pepper isn't. I'm going to add the red pepper and pretend that it's pimento. I mean, you could do that with regular recipes. Baking, no, that doesn't work very well. So this has got to cook down. This is my 1 pound of ground beef. Should be, this was 93%, 7% fat. What I see here is juice too. 1 medium onion diced, and 1/4 cup of red pepper. And if you have the celery, it would be 2 celery stalks diced up. So we're going to have to break, because I just want this to cook down a little bit more, and we'll be back very shortly. The ground beef is cooked with the vegetables, and now I'm going to add salt and pepper to taste, and I'm using my lemon pepper today. And I'm going to also stir in 5 tablespoons of flour. So this is not going to be a tomato based recipe. At this point, I think maybe I'll just stir in 4 tablespoons. Cook the flour and get bitterness out of it. Into this mixture now, I have 3½ cups of milk that I'll add gradually. Behind me I have, which I did earlier, broke up spaghetti for 1¼ cups. I'm going to drain that now. Get drained. If you do it too early, it's all going to stick together, so. Along with the milk, I'm going to add 1 to 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. I got a soy sauce kick. Both my recipes are going to use soy sauce today. we're waiting for the milk and flour to thicken up in here. So I'm going to break again for a minute so that you don't have to watch me trying to stir and get this thickened up the way we want it. So I'm just going to break for a minute or two. Okay, I have not yet used all the milk. I had measured out 3.5 cups. My sauce here is thickening up. I'm going to add milk gradually to this now. And I'm going to add the drained spaghetti at this point. We're going to be putting this in the oven, and using an 11 by 7 baking dish. Of course, we know how pasta likes to soak up liquid. So I'm not going to, at this point, use the total 3.5 cups of milk. It's boiling. I'm going to bake this for about 30-35 minutes. Let's see if I can empty it out now. Now I'm going to take some more liberty with this recipe. You can either sprinkle cracker crumbs, buttery cracker crumbs, smashed up, or I am going to sprinkle on Parmesan cheese. And I think you could use shredded cheddar cheese. Okay, into your 350-degree oven. And about 30 minutes. Now I'll turn it over to Gordy.
In my bowl, I have a 3.4 ounce box of pistachio instant pudding. I have a 20-ounce can of Dole's pineapple with juice. I have a cup of miniature marshmallows, and I put in a handful of chopped up nuts that I chopped up, and then I'm going to mix this together with my pudding mix and my marshmallows and pineapple. This goes good with ham, any kind, any family dinner. It's even good for picnics. Okay, I have this all mixed up, and this is what it looks like when it's this far. Now I'm going to put in an 8-ounce package container of Cool Whip. You're going to mix this in with your pistachio pudding and your pineapple and nuts. Make sure you get everything on the bottom because it does stick a little bit. Okay, and this is what it looks like when it's all mixed up, and you put it in a pretty little bowl and serve it at your holiday meal, and everybody will like it because it's very, very good. So give it a try at your Easter dinner. I know you're going to like it. Okay, and this is what it looks like. So give it a try, and I hope you do. Back to Nancy.
Okay, back to me. We've got a few different little themes going here. Easter, which is late this year, and certain ingredients. I am going to cook a recipe with what we consider a spring vegetable, asparagus, local asparagus. I mean, we can get asparagus now practically all year long, coming from other parts of the country and the world south of us. So this usually at home, I just like to cut the asparagus up after I've cleaned it and just steam it, and we season it and butter. But this is going to add a few more ingredients, and I'll see whether I haven't tried it before, and maybe I'll like it, and maybe I won't. Maybe I'm just used to plain asparagus. In this fry pan, I'm heating 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and I'm going to add my minced garlic. You can take garlic cloves and slice them very thin, too. I'm going to, again, use my and watch it.
It's popping out
It's
all
popping
over.
all over. It's not supposed to do that. Oh, goodness. We're going to saute if you can keep it in your pan. The garlic for a short while. See that it gets kind of browning. But if you're going to keep popping on me and burning me with your... Okay. So, I have up to a pound, I think, of asparagus, which I have, this is very thin stalks. I've washed and taken off a lot of the little...
The hard part?
Whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
That go up the...
Those are nice and tender.
So, these are going to go into the fry pan. And even this fry pan is not big enough. It would have been nice if
You want a bigger one?
what I think I'm going to do is break and maybe cut those up like I normally do with my asparagus, so that they're pieces. So let's break, and I will fix these differently. Okay, after I read the size of my asparagus with the fry pan that I brought, I decided to stop a minute, and I cut them into small slices. So I have been sauteing these cut up asparagus in the oil and garlic with a cover on to kind of do some steaming. And while that is happening, in the small bowl, I'm going to mix together 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And I'm going to pour this over the cooking asparagus. And it should steam for another couple of minutes, but I'm getting tired of breaking, and I will cover it because I've got to mix a couple of more things in my bowl. I want 1 teaspoon of honey now. And 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Okay, mix those together. And we're going to drizzle I'm going to cover this again, let it cook down before I stir it for a couple of more minutes. And now we're going to break, and when we come back, we'll be at our table. Welcome back to our table. Before we begin talking about our recipes, I'd like to throw a thought out to the general audience. Some people out there might like to join our show. If you've got a favorite recipe, family recipe, or one that you've made up and you'd like to show it, I think that might be an interesting thing to do. What you would do is contact Dalton Community Cable at 151 Park Avenue. Stop in and talk to our employees here. Maybe the best thing to do would be to come and see how a show is produced before, and see, if you would like to do this. We would like to have some people out there in the public to share recipes that they and their family enjoy. So think about it, and don't be afraid. We've done this for quite a long time, and we weren't professionals, and maybe we still aren't, but we should have learned something.
We have fun.
But it's very simple to do. First of all, to stop in and see when we shoot the shows, and then maybe watch us do one before you make a decision. So, that being said, the three things we did today: casserole, a spring vegetable, and a springy salad to go maybe for upcoming Easter. I took a spring vegetable around here, asparagus, and instead of just steaming it and seasoning it with margarine, butter, and salt and pepper, I sautéed it for a while with garlic, and then with soy sauce and lemon juice, and then cooked it some more, and then finished it off with some honey and Dijon mustard. So I really did it up this time compared to how I usually cook. And I thought I was going to do it in just stalks, and my fry pan wasn't big enough, so I had to cut it up into sections. And then I made a spaghetti casserole that it was a cream sauce actually in place of tomato sauce. Just cooking up ground beef, and with onions, and it's supposed to have celery, which I explained why celery's not in there, and some red pepper instead of pimento, and I explained that also. You cook that up, and then you add flour to it, and then milk to make the cream sauce in it, and again some soy sauce. I baked it in a casserole, and you could put crackers up on top, or I used Parmesan cheese. So, Gordy, it's your turn.
Okay, this is my Watergate salad that I usually make when we have holiday dinners. The only time I don't make it is at Thanksgiving. I make a 24-hour salad. This is made of pistachio pudding, pineapple, miniature marshmallows, some nuts sprinkled on, and a container of Cool Whip. And you mix it all up, and then you chill it before you serve it. And this is what it looks like. And believe me, it is very, very good. Please try it. Okay, if you'd like any of these recipes, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Dalton Community Cable, 151 Park Avenue, Dalton, Mass. 01226. And that is all from our kitchen today. Have a great Easter.